Hey, Nicole Holland here. You're listening to episode 43 of the Business Building Rockstars Show.
You're listening to the Business Building Rockstars Show, where your host, Nicole Holland, gets the lowdown from today's most talented, inspiring, and successful entrepreneurs on what it really takes to reach rockstar status.
Do you want to get your message out in a bigger way by being a guest on a web show or podcast just like this? If you do, text the letters I am ready to 33444 and I will send you free of charge a guide called How to Be a Great Guest. Don't make rookie mistakes that so many people do when they're starting out. Get known as a great guest that hosts search for free by texting I am ready to 33444. So to spell that out, it's the letters I am ready to 33444 and I will send you a complimentary copy of my guide, How to Be a Great Guest. Man, oh man, I'm so excited to bring you this episode today with Andy Crestodina of Orbit Media Studios. We're talking about how he pursued his passion for combining creativity and technology and how that gamble paid off. But it wasn't his first time at the table. Andy has multiple quote-unquote failures under his belt that paved the way to his success. If this episode resonates with you, do not forget to send me a tweet. Let me know about what you think. Use the hashtag BBRShow. And without further ado, here is my interview with Andy. Hey there, entrepreneur. Thanks for tuning in to the Business Building Rockstars Show. I'm so excited about today's guest. Named one of Forbes' top 10 online marketing experts to watch in 2015 and an Entrepreneur Magazine's top 50 marketing influencer in 2016, Andy Crestodina is a co-founder and the strategic director of Orbit Media, an award-winning 38-person web design company located in Chicago. Over the past 15 years, Andy has provided web strategy and advice to more than 1,000 different businesses. As a top-rated speaker at national conferences and as a writer for many of the biggest blogs out there, Andy has dedicated himself to the teaching of marketing. He's written hundreds of articles on content strategy, search engine optimization, social media, and analytics. Andy co-hosts the Content Matters podcast and is the author of Content Chemistry, the illustrated handbook for content marketing. I'm so totally stoked to have Andy here on the Business Building Rockstar Show today. Andy, are you ready to rock?
I am ready to rock, Nicole. Thanks for that intro.
Absolutely. So tell us, how did you get here? How did you get involved in the web and content strategy and marketing and all that good stuff?
Well, my degree was in foreign language. I was a Mandarin, Asian language and literature major, and went to China and decided not to live in China and decided not to be a Chinese teacher. Came back and just wanted to do something related to business and not work in a classroom, at least not right away. And so, but I love teaching. It just wasn't relevant and interesting enough at the time. I wanted to see what was happening because this was the mid-90s and interesting stuff was happening. So I was making, this is going to sound silly and I don't often tell the story, but I was making interactive comic books at night with a friend, my friend from high school, roommate from college. And they were CD-ROM comics and they were animation and sound and interactivity, choose your own adventure and sound effects, and they were silly and fun and a terrible business idea. Started a company trying to make interactive comic books. It was called Orbit Media Studios. And then my day job was a recruiter. I was the top recruiter in the firm, but I just really, really wanted to combine art and science and the creative and the technical. So I just quit my job. And in January of 2000, started making websites with my friend. He had already been doing it. And by April of 2001, we were off to the races. So we were reusing the name, we still do, from that old, silly interactive comic book company. So we're still Orbit Media Studios. And I just really had no sense of what I was doing, just wanted to be a designer and knew no one would hire me. So starting a business kind of made sense. And then right after that, I realized I needed to understand marketing. Just right after that, I knew I needed to understand search and analytics. Everything was new to me. So I was really self-taught. And it then later evolved to the point in 2008 where all these, search optimization and social media and content all kind of combined and I'm back to kind of being a teacher again, which was sort of the full circle story. But that's, I just had to learn this stuff just to market ourselves and to help my clients. And it all goes way back to that just passion for combining the creative stuff and the technical stuff.
I love that. And I can definitely relate. It's like once you start going down that rabbit hole, once you start learning about something that lights you up, it's like you just want more of it, right? And then just share it.
That's right. It's right. It's like, just do what you love and everything else kind of follows. It just follow that passion, just find that job or whatever, that role that combines those things that you're most interested in. And you'll never be bored, especially in like anything digital, right? Because it just changes often enough. It's just been tons of fun. Very cool.
Now, when you were off to the races, so to speak, it couldn't have possibly been all hunky-dory. It's not like you just were like, ooh, I'm doing this. And now all of a sudden this big company and you're known all over the world. Like, how did that come to be, but how did you get through the tough times? Because there had to be things that came up that made you question, is this really what we're supposed to be doing?
Oh, yeah. Well, in the very beginning, it's funny because when you just start out, there's nothing to lose. So there were just two of us and we had not enough clients to survive, but we didn't care. I was using the 401k that I had from my previous job, and my partner was using like credit cards, but we were doing what we loved, and it was not good. Actually, it was very bad business-wise because this was, think about April 2001. It's like the official popping of the tech bubble. 9/11 was about to happen. It was like there's just a combination of so many horrible things in business that we really did not. It was like the actual numbers, I could look them up about. I think it's like I made like $12,000 my first year and like $10,000 my second year. Like it was just rotten financially. We'd have to hire contractors to do the more technical stuff sometimes, and and all the money would go to that person, and we wouldn't make anything ourselves. It was very, very bad. But then it started to get better, and we started to get smarter, and got a little bit better at just tracking time and being utilized and selling projects. And then there was another horrible time later because we didn't have enough money to hire a designer as I became more of an account manager or project manager or marketing sales guy. We didn't have enough money to hire a designer, so we added this other person who became a partner, and it wasn't the right partner, and it wasn't a good fit. And it took a long time to unwind that. And that was extreme, like I had to mortgage my house. It was an extremely expensive way to get out of that relationship because we had a shareholder agreement that put the valuation at a very high number. And it took years, like working for years to finally restructure the company so that they were back to just the two of us. So no, not all hunky-dory. Definitely huge ups and downs, a lot of pain points, a lot of sleepless nights. It's been a long process with plenty of adventures along the way.
Thank you so much for sharing that. I think that's one of the things that people don't talk about a lot. And it's actually one of the reasons I created this show, because I want people not to get disheartened and think that, it's special to them that things are going awry, because it really is not special to them. We all do it. Everybody who's ever reached any level of success has been through challenges that seem insurmountable to most people. But the fact is that they're willing to go the distance and they're willing to go beyond that. And so I love that while it's not recommended to mortgage your house and live on credit and do all these crazy things,
right.
I love that you're willing to share that that's how you came to build this incredible business.
And it never feels finished. It's not as if there was like a finish line. Entrepreneurs are like, it's kind of a crazy idea. It's like saying that autonomy and freedom to pursue my passion and all of the things, maybe the greater glory that comes with big success if it works, if it works at all, it might not. All of that is worth to me a huge potential risk of losing everything, of spending years of massive public failure, of all the things that people are most afraid of, right? It's just humiliation, bankruptcy. We're weird. We are weird people because we accept that. But it's someone has to do it. Someone should do it, and it's just a beautiful. And we live in amazing times, right? Because there's so many different innovations that have led to all these different opportunities. Like brand new industries just kind of appear all the time. It seems like drones and marketing automation and all like the technology tools and craft brewing, and like there's just millions of opportunities now that someone really is. It just takes that catalyst, that spark when someone says, I can do that. I can help those people. I can meet that unmet need and create something out of nothing. And when it works, it's gorgeous. It's one of the most beautiful things about capitalism.
So fun. So let's pretend you have like this realistic time machine and you hop on in there and I want you to go back and tell me what you would tell your younger self about that, in 2001, what's going to happen, and not necessarily what's going to happen, but what they need to know. I don't know, my wording's all screwy. What would you tell yourself in hindsight, what you wish you would have known then that you know now about getting through those times?
Well, hindsight for our generation, right? Everyone who's doing anything online is just incredible because we saw so much wealth and opportunity built in such short times by so many companies. So, we could have started Facebook. I don't know. We could have registered these insanely valuable domain names. We could have done so many things. But in what I probably would have suggested would have been to not. So it's about taking care of my team. We have 38 employees. It's about taking care of my clients. And we have sort of this family culture, and that's really, really important to me. But in hindsight, there were maybe even better ways to create security for the team and success for the clients by pivoting like most companies did. There are most companies that have been building websites since we started building websites looked around and decided that there was maybe a tool they could build. And they pivoted from a service company to a product company. And so like you've had people on your show, I mean, Laura's one, people that decided, wait, why don't I try to come up with something that creates residual revenue that solves a bigger problem for more people? I can get lots of signups. I can shift into more of a marketing role instead of support role. And there's tons and tons of examples like these, right? Like 37 Signals, Jason Fried's company, used to do web design. So I probably would have pushed myself to stay more entrepreneurial and to keep testing, trying, potentially failing. I did try some other concepts at different times. Technically, this is the 5th of my ventures and the only one that was ever successful. But I mentioned one, the comic book company. But it's we'd never haven't yet decided to build and market a product that could be used by thousands instead of just building websites one at a time for hundreds.
Interesting. Very interesting. So you mentioned marketing automation tools. What's your favorite?
Oh,
I know.
I do a lot of stuff by hand that a lot of people do with tools.
Okay.
So I'm actually not the best person to ask about marketing automation, but I talk to so many people about it that I have some opinions and some cautions. A lot of people who sign up for marketing automation aren't using it for all that it can do. Many people who sign up for marketing automation are paying like $500 to $1,000 a month to use what is basically MailChimp. A lot of people use it just for the email delivery and maybe some CRM, some management of contacts, and they are not getting the value that they should. People who are really ready to do marketing automation are people who are actually doing something manually that they want to automate. So if you've been doing the same task over and over and you think, wow, there should be an easy way to do this, that's the time to automate. People who have lots of leads already and they just need a way to route those leads, they need marketing automation. People who have a lot of content already and they're not just getting started in content marketing, they can really use marketing automation. So my list of criteria for people that are really ready for it to take full advantage and to get maximum value, I think that a lot of people who are excited about automation are really just excited about content marketing, but they end up paying $800 a month, something that they never really use completely.
Yeah, definitely. So what is a best strategy that you like to share with your clients when they don't have that much content, they don't have those many leads, and they don't really need to invest in that? But what's something that you suggest to simplify their process?
Yeah, great question, Nicole. So most people at the very beginning of their adventure into content have amazing opportunities, really special opportunities, because they're new to it. So you can play around with your tone of voice. Does this work better than that? You can try different things. It's lower stakes. You can do content specifically for your small group of readers or email subscribers, which is fun. Big companies can't do that. But what I recommend people start with is creating what's called their mission statement. So here's the template. Our brand, as in our social streams and email and blog and website, is where audience X gets content Y for benefit Z. If you write that out in advance, then you are statistically, according to Content Marketing Institute's survey, you're statistically more likely to be successful with your marketing. So I could share an article that covers this, but it's basically like follow that little template to put yourself on a mission, like your editorial mission. And then after that, you need to, there's a lot of other little things you need to do. I mean, you make your list of topics, your list of keywords, your list of influencers you're going to connect with, and your list of formats that you use. Do you use video or podcasts or infographics or just text? And then eventually work toward your publishing calendar. So you should have a strategy with the end in mind. And once you start going down that path, just make sure that you're listening carefully to what's working and what's not. You're ready to adapt, because some things will work much better than others. And at every step, you're measuring results. So it's really, everything in marketing is an experiment. And if you take even your first steps toward content as an opportunity to learn, you'll get way better results than you would otherwise.
Wow, that's super, super valuable. Awesome. Now, you have an event coming up, don't you? Content Jam?
Yep.
Can you tell us a little bit about what that entails and, who would benefit from that?
Sure. So I just mentioned that there's different formats for content: podcast, video, infographics, text. Live events are really a huge untapped market and a great format for publishing, or not publishing, but for connecting with an audience. So we've been doing live events for 6 years, and 4 years ago started a conference. It's a mini conference. It's a regional marketing conference, but it's here in Chicago. It's called Content Jam, and it's for anyone who's active in content marketing. So it's a lot of mid-level marketers. There's some C-suite attendees. If you're familiar with content marketing world, it's sort of in that. I think of it as like a distant cousin, but we have some of that same tribe. There's Robert Rose is a speaker this year. Andrew Davis, Ardith Albee. Those are people that a lot of the content marketing group would be familiar with. Plus some conversion optimization experts like Joel Harvey and Angie Schottmuller. Some analytics pros, including Ian Lurie. So it's on August 4th. It's downtown Chicago, right on the river. And it's a one-day hybrid between single track and multi-track. And there's also a pre-event workshops. I'm doing a 4-hour SEO workshop, and there's Jessica Best is doing a 4-hour email workshop. Those are held the day before on August 3rd.
Awesome. And where can listeners go to find out more about that?
ContentJam.com.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
So Andy, we are just about out of time. Is there anything you want to leave our listeners with, last minute words of advice, and also you can let them know how to get in touch with you, get more information from you?
Well, I would say that to be a rock star, you're going to have to take some chances. I think if you're out of your comfort zone, you're in the right path. So everybody who's attained any level, accomplishments are proportional to attempts. So attempt lots of stuff. Try, just keep learning. The fact that you're just listening now means you're more likely to succeed because you're soaking up information that's so important. Just close your eyes and jump. That's my advice for lots of people. And I'm easy to reach. You can connect with me, ask me anything, or connect with me anywhere. I'm at Andy@orbitmedia.com. Orbit Media is the website, and blog, orbitmedia.com/blog is where we publish that. I have a bi-weekly newsletter. I publish every other week. And of course, there's social media. So anywhere.
Awesome. And of course, everything will be linked up on the show notes page at BBR Show as well. And Andy, thank you so much for being here today. It was a ton of fun and I learned so much.
Anytime, Nicole. My pleasure.
Hey, I hope you enjoyed today's episode, and if you did, make sure to subscribe on iTunes so that you don't miss another episode. And if you're just joining us for the first time, welcome. Thanks so much for being here. And if you want to catch up on past episodes, it's super easy to do when you subscribe on iTunes. Also, we're on Stitcher, and of course, you can visit bbrshow.com for all of the episodes, show notes, and more. I would love to hear what you think about today's episode by leaving a review on iTunes, or also you can go to bbrshow.com, and on our show notes page, there is a comment section. Dear listeners, I do this show for you, so the more you let me know what you love, the more I can bring you that. Don't forget that the Business Building Rockstar Show releases every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So 3 times per week, you can listen in to what the journey towards rockstar status entrepreneurship is really like. Until next time, thanks so much for being here. I appreciate you, and I look forward to connecting again real soon.
And there you have it. If you enjoyed this episode of the Business Building Rockstars Show, be sure to subscribe on iTunes so you don't miss a thing. And visit bbrshow.com for all the show notes and links to resources discussed on today's show. Plus, lots more.